There we go. Okay, I think it's going now.
Okay, so everyone find yourself in a tall, supportive seat. Whatever that looks like for you today is fine. So if you want to be on the floor, be on the floor. Maybe if you're on the floor, but you feel like you're rounding forward, it's always a little helpful to put some blocks under your sit bones so your knees can fall down below the level of the hips. It should help the psoas relax and the low back as well. But of course, the chair is an option. You can have your legs crossed or knees bent in front of you. If you're on the chair and your feet are on the floor, I recommend not crossing at the ankles or the knees, having the feet flat on the ground. Good. And then roll your shoulders a couple times down and away from your ears. Give your neck and your head a little more space here. And next time your shoulders are down away from the ears, keep them down. Keep your elbows bent and rest your hands, maybe on the floor or the chair beside you, maybe on your lap. You might put one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest so you can feel your breathing, especially if you're newer to practice or if you're feeling extra distracted one day. This kind of tactile reference, the physical moving out and in of the hands just from the movement from your breath, can be a really good grounding practice. And you can do it anywhere. No one knows what you're doing, just touching your belly, right? Let your gaze go forward and slightly down. Imagine tucking your chin down and back like you're kind of pushing your head into an invisible wall behind you. So the feeling you're looking for is tail reaching for the ground, spine reaching up tall, head stacked on top of your shoulders, which are stacked on top of your hips. So everything is kind of in line or like anatomically neutral for you. Good. And then lock your gaze at a spot ahead of you that's not moving. And consciously soften the muscles around your face, especially around your eyes and your jaw. You might part your teeth and your lips very slightly so you're not like clenching the mouth on accident. You could swallow and cover your tongue and saliva in the bottom of your mouth. Softening the face tells the nervous system that it's okay to try to approach a meditative state. It might be a little more accessible. Good. Let your eyelids get a little softer. You might close them halfway or all the way. That's always up to you. And remember, you can always change your mind based on how you're feeling. And start to mentally separate yourself from what you were doing so you can come fully now into what you are doing, which is just sitting here. Maybe this is the first time you've sat still in the quiet today or ever. And if that's the case, notice how your body and your mind responds to that question of, can I sit here in the quiet? Good. And now start to become aware of everything that you see in your field of vision, even if your eyes are shut. Notice all the general shapes and the colors. Notice lights and shadows. Notice in your mind's eye where the doors and the windows are in relation to your body. Notice where the other people and objects are in relation to your body. Notice all the noises in the space besides my voice. And remind yourself that you will probably be distracted by other noises from outside the room, from noises inside the room, or from chatter inside your head. That's all normal. When you notice you've been distracted by one of these, do your best to quickly and easefully bring your attention back to your body over and over without judgment that you're doing something wrong or right. Just bring the attention back to your breath and your body. You'll do it 1,000 times in the next hour. That's normal. Good. And now bring attention to your little bubble of space. Use your spidey sense. Notice what's directly behind you. And get a sense of what's to the sides of your body. And then sense the space in front of your body as well. Notice where air is touching your skin versus where clothing is touching your skin. Maybe you notice a texture or a temperature there. Notice the weight of your body in your seat. And maybe you invite yourself to get 1% heavier in the places where you feel like you're being held up from underneath you. And then notice the parts of your body that are moving from your breathing. Don't change your breath yet, although you may have instinctually started to engage with your breathing. That's okay. Try to let the breath be passive and normal and effortless for now. And get a sense of what it feels like to breathe in and out. Notice if it's kind of smooth or kind of choppy today. Or is it more quick or more slow? Is there a texture to your breath? Is there a temperature to the breath? Where do you feel it the most in your body? Down in your belly or in the sides of your ribs? Is it tickling your nose or your throat? Where do you sense your breath today the most? And then invitation to start engaging with your breathing a little more intentionally. So maybe drawing the breath down into the belly a little deeper and lower than you normally do. And as you exhale, maybe through the nose or the mouth, you let the air escape from your body just a little slower than it normally does, maybe half a beat or a beat longer. Inhaling lower, deeper. Exhaling a little longer, a little slower. Don't force it. Allow the breath to deepen and elongate this way. If your hands are on your body, maybe you notice they're moving in a different way just from the pressure changes in your body. That's normal. And remember that your breath happens in a 360-degree way. So notice the breath coming in and out in the back of your body as well. And notice your breath in the sides of your ribs and your waist and under your armpits. Just noticing 2 or 3 more rounds like that, in and out, lower and longer than normal. Keep the shoulders heavy, keep your face soft as best you can, heavy in your seat. And then relax your hands down on your lap if they were touching your body. Relax your breath so it comes back to a more natural, passive pace. And notice if anything has changed so far. It could be in the way your body or your breath feels, or it might be in the way your mind is working now. Just observe anything that's different. Good. And then open your eyes if you haven't already. Feel free to take in the room around you again, but keep your face soft through the rest of class as best you can. And remember, everything's optional. If you just want to sit and breathe, if that was really working for you today, then please choose to stay there and do that. If you want to move with me, and you're in a chair, make sure your feet are flat and you scoot forward towards more the edge of the seat so you have more room behind you and to the sides of you. If you're on the floor, don't forget, you can always uncross and crisscross your legs so your toes don't fall asleep. So keep yourself nice and tall as best you can. Engage in your bandhas, engage in your locks and your pressure systems in your own body to keep yourself supported in every way. So notice your feet first. And push not only into the toes, but also into the heels of your feet. And see if you can imagine lifting the arches upwards, like suction cups on the floor. And then notice your pelvic muscles. It's like you have to go to the bathroom and you can't find one, so you're holding it in. So pull in and up with the pelvis. Pull in and up with the low belly. Shoulders come down. Arms are heavy, face is soft, looking straight ahead. And just notice the difference in that feeling of support as you engage in these bandhas. Good. And then push down into your floor and your seat. Next time you inhale, get taller through the crown of your head. On your exhale, let your right ear come towards your right shoulder. Heavy head is tilting over. Let the shoulders stay down as best you can. And you can stay here and still, or you could gently tilt the nose down towards the floor. And maybe back forward again, maybe up a little bit as the head is still tilted to the right. Breathe in and out and notice what you feel, whether you're moving or not. Next time you breathe in, gently bring yourself back up through the center, and then exhale at your own pace to the other side. Shoulders are down. Maybe you're gently moving your nose forward and back, or maybe you're in stillness, but take some deep breaths, especially taking stock of sensations in the sides of your neck and the upper shoulders, the upper back, and in the chest area. Notice your reaction to my prompt for you to move this slowly. Maybe you have a mental reaction to that. And then inhale yourself all the way back to the center. This time exhale and look to the right. So turn the whole face towards the right side of the room. Squeeze your shoulders a little bit behind you. Make sure you keep your shoulders down away from your ears and pretend there's a little marker right on the tip of your nose. Draw circles in the air, small or big, but move slowly. Go one direction a few times, still breathing. Still pushing into the floor, still lifting in and up on your bandhas, and draw circles the other way too. Notice the difference. When you're ready to breathe in again, come all the way back through the center, nice and slow, and then exhale to the other side. Same practice on this side. Remember, we're not trying to change anything necessarily or make the two sides look the same or feel the same. We're just doing the same practice on each side and noticing. Keep softening your eyebrows and your eyelids. Keep breathing as deeply and slowly as you can. Draw your circles the other way too if you haven't already. And on your next inhale, come all the way back through the center, looking straight ahead. Exhale, let your chin come down towards your chest, but keep yourself feeling really long from your tail to your shoulders. Pull your shoulders back behind you just a little bit so you can feel broad in front of the chest. And start to scrape your chin over towards the right shoulder, and then slowly through the middle and over to the left shoulder. Back and forth at your own pace. You might barely be tilting the head and feeling a lot, or you might move a lot and feel very little. Just notice what's present for you and keep breathing. If you're moving, try to do the same number of passes to each side before you settle in the center in stillness. Push down into your feet, belly in and up. Squeeze the chin down, squeeze the shoulders down and back slightly. Good. And then place your fingertips on the back of your skull. You don't have to push, just the contact might be enough pressure to add sensation. Option to draw your elbows closer together in front of your face. Imagine the elbows coming towards each other in the middle and the shoulders pulling down and back apart from each other behind you. So opposite actions, elbows in, shoulders out. Take another really deep breath. This time, try to just breathe big into the shoulders and the top of your back. And then on your next inhale, open your elbows out to the side, look straight ahead. Really squeeze the shoulders behind you. You might have to let go of your head like me if you feel like you're pushing your head forward. Stay here for another breath. If you like, you can lift your eyebrows and your eyeballs up to the sky. You can turn your face up towards the sky. Lift your chest up towards the sky. Keep squeezing your shoulders together, elbows pulling apart out to the sides of your body. One more big inhale here. Exhale, come back to center. Release your arms down. If you got lightheaded, tuck your chin again. Let yourself come back to neutral. Looking straight ahead, let your hands dangle out of your shoulders down towards the floor, and make sure you can easily touch either the floor or your blocks. So if you haven't already and you're in a seat, maybe move your blocks to the sides of your hips and make sure you can easily touch down onto something. Good. Once you're situated, we'll do 6 spinal actions now. So side, side, forward, back, twisty, twisty, right? All 6 spinal actions. So first identify your right arm. You can give it a little wiggle if you want. And next time you breathe in, keep yourself tall and lift your right arm either out to the side and keep it shoulder height or over your head. If your arm goes over shoulder height, lift the shoulder up and away from the hip. Create a lot more space. Next time you exhale, lean over slightly until your left fingertips touch down. If you want, you can come down onto the left palm. Some bodies like to kind of reach their arm further away. Some people instead like to bend the elbow. It's up to you. But we're not trying to reach over as far as we can and lift up out of your seat. You want to lock your hips down into the floor or your chair. And imagine instead creating a big C shape with the side of your body. If your arm fatigues and it's distracting or bothering you, just let the arm come down behind your back so it can rest and still focus on that big C shape. Last breath here. And then next time you breathe in, come all the way back up through the center. Exhale, lower your arm down. Notice what's left over. You might get that blood pressure like whooshing feeling, throbbing or tingling. That's all normal. And then other side as you're ready. So inhale, left arm either out or up. Make your choice. Maybe try what you did on the other side. See how it feels on this side. You can keep everything really loosey-goosey. Bend your elbow, bend your wrist, even bend your fingers. Or if you want to work hard, you can squeeze your bicep against your ear and glue all your fingertips together like a Barbie hand. Good. Inhale, lift up higher, shoulder and hip get further apart. Exhale, touch down with the right fingertips. Maybe the palm. Maybe you reach further away or start to bend your elbow, but really glue both hips down into your seat. Create as much rounded space as you can between your shoulder and your hip. Notice where your heart is pointing. If it's pointing down towards the floor a little bit, see if you can back out about 10%. And then imagine stacking the shoulders more and opening the heart to the front more. Yeah, like that. 2 more breaths on this side. Breathe as big as you can into the left side of the rib cage, even if it's uncomfortable. See if you can breathe really big into those muscles there. And then push into the floor, push into your seat, belly in and up to help you. Inhale all the way back to the center. Exhale, lower your left arm down. Take a breath in neutral. Notice what's left over, the whooshing and the tingling. Let that all come back to neutral. Good. Place your hands on the tops of your thighs and your knees. So we did side to side. Now we'll do forward and back with cat-cow. So inhale, pull your belly and your chest forward. Let your gaze go up again towards the sky. On your exhale, round your shoulders behind you, pull your belly in towards your spine and look down at your lap. Now go back and forth. Inhaling cow pose. Squeeze your shoulders and your hips towards each other. Reach with your nose and your eyes. And then exhale, really round between the shoulders like a black cat on Halloween. Make that huge curve. Head is heavy at the end. Go back and forth at your own pace. You can always stay in one position or the other if it feels good or interesting. And you don't have to breathe how I said. You could exhale into cow pose and inhale into cat pose. Experiment, make it work for you. Someone just made this shit up one day, okay? Don't take it so serious. Move your spine, breathe, and notice. That's good yoga, not the perfect shape. See if you can match your movement up with your breathing. Don't switch into the next position until your inhales and exhales switch into each other. 2 or 3 more like this. We always spend extra time here. This is that one pose or 2 poses that if you're going to do something yoga asana, yoga movement every day, this is it. When you've done the same amount of passes to each side, meet me in a neutral spine, pushing into the floor, in and up with the belly and the pelvis, shoulders down away from your ears, squeeze them gently behind you, arms are heavy, head is stacked on top of your spine, and your face is super soft. Good. Take a breath here in neutral. Notice anything that's changed in the spine or in the rest of your body or the way your mind is working. And then we'll do the twists. So on your inhale, bring your arms out to a big T shape. Really reach the arms out from the center point of the chest, not just from the shoulder girdle. And then on your next exhale, squeeze through the middle of your body. Twist to the right like you're wringing out a washcloth. Like really squeeze. And then if you wish, you can let your arms come down. So your left hand would come to your right knee, and then the right arm would come behind you to the floor or your chair. The further away your hand is back behind you, you're going to lean back a little bit more, but you might find more length. The closer your hand is to your tailbone and your buttocks, the more you might be able to push into your hand and get taller that way. So see which one works better for you, but either way, each time you inhale, look for length through the top of your crown. Each time you exhale, squeeze the washcloth. Get another drip of water out. Maybe you look behind you over your shoulder too. Good. And then inhale all the way back to the center. Reach your arms straight out from the center of your chest. Exhale, let your arms come down. Take a breath in neutral. Let yourself settle before we do the other side. Maybe you roll your shoulders. Good. Second side. Inhale, arms come out in a big T shape. Exhale, twist to the left this time. Maybe you keep your arms moving out. Try not to use your arms to force yourself to twist further. Instead, keep the arms coming straight out of the center of the chest. Maybe the arms come down, but you're not pulling yourself with your arms. You're just using them as support. Make yourself feel tall through the crown of your head. Each time you exhale, squeeze through your washcloth, get another drip of water out. Keep breathing. It doesn't have to be super deep, but keep your breath moving in and out. Maybe you even look over your back shoulder if your neck's okay with that. Last inhale and exhale here. And then when you're ready, inhale back to the center. Big T shape with the arms. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, let your hands come down and be heavy. Again, big breath in and out. Fill yourself up, bottom to top. Exhale, top to bottom. Good. Inhale, reach your arms all the way around and up. Maybe you look up. And exhale, fold forward. So belly on your thighs, hands are heavy, head is heavy, unless you get migraines and headaches. And in that case, you might want to put your elbows on your knees and cradle your head above the level of your heart. First forward fold of the day. You might be folded over bent knees or long legs, folded over your seated legs. But either way, head is like a bowling ball, super heavy. Consciously relax the muscles in your neck and the tops of your shoulders and your jaw. Smooth out your eyebrows. Maybe shake your head yes a little bit. Shake your head no a little bit. Carefully roll yourself all the way back up to a tall spine. One vertebrae stacks on top of the next until your shoulders and head come up last. One more big roll of the shoulders at the top. And then if you like to stand, please stand at the front of your mat. If you're going to stay seated, that's fine. We're going to do a couple of sun salutations and then work on our warrior poses today, if that helps you make a decision about what you want to do. But if you're coming to the front of your mat, just kind of march in place a little bit so your feet aren't so glued down to the ground. Don't think about where your feet are landing. Just notice shoulders are down, gaze is forward, and then suddenly stop. And notice the distribution of your weight. Is it more forward or back? Notice if one leg or foot is holding more weight between the right and the left. And see if you can kind of wobble a little bit until you find what you think is perfectly even weight distribution. So you're pushing into the big toes, pushing into the little toes, pushing into the heels, suction cupping the arches onto the ground. Good. Belly in and up, shoulders down and away, pinch them behind you a little bit. Arms are super heavy, pulling down towards the ground, and your gaze is forward. This is your mountain pose, so imagine yourself like a huge mountain shape. Big, wide base, peak at the top right above your head. Even though you're wobbling back and forth, imagine steadiness and heaviness here. And now we'll start moving a little bit more. So on your next inhale, push into your feet and lift up your arms. Maybe you look up as well. Exhale, fold forward. So from the hips, bend your knees a lot so you can rest on your legs and your head gets heavy. Inhale, come halfway up. So arms slide up towards your knees somewhere. Reach through the crown of your head. Exhale, fold again. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Squeeze your shoulders onto your spine, belly in and up. Exhale, fold. Last halfway lift, long, strong spine. And exhale to fold. Weight in your heels. Inhale, come up all the way. Reach your arms around and up at the top. Let them touch this time. Exhale, carefully bring your hands down the center of you towards your chest. Again, inhale around and up. Maybe a back bend this time. Hips forward, elbows back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach through the crown of your head. And then exhale to fold. Push into your feet, root to rise. Breathe in as you reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. 2 more at your own pace. Don't worry about how fast you're moving or your neighbor or what you look like. Just move with your breath in a way that feels instinctual instead of forced. Even if that means you're barely moving. The intention is what matters here. Another round, unless you're ready for a break, and now's a good time for a break while the class finishes their last sun salutation. Imagine length at every moment, even when you're back in your mountain pose. When you get there, hands are reaching down, head is reaching up. Notice the weight in your feet. If it's moved somewhere, try to find that equidistance again. Take a couple breaths here and just notice anything that's changed so far. Good. And then everyone turn so you're facing the long edge of your mat. If you're in your chair, you can stay facing forward at first. So we're going to take a wide stance. So it doesn't have to be a split, right? But just feet wider than your hips. Good. And then let the toes point out at an angle a little bit instead of straight forward. So more towards the corners of the room. Next time you breathe in, make yourself into a huge X shape. So reach your arms out towards the top corners. Stay here for a moment and imagine that your belly button is the center of your whole body. Like your arms are coming out of your belly button, your legs are coming out of your belly button. Your breath is starting at the belly button. Stay here for another big round of breath. Get as big as you possibly can. Exhale, straighten your legs and let your hands come down towards your hips. Good. Let's do a forward fold from here. So inhale, get long from your hips to the crown of your head. Exhale, slowly start to lean forward. Make sure your weight is evenly in the toes and the heels so you don't feel like tipping forward. You can either stop halfway down or you could put your hands down on blocks or towards the floor. If you're touching down on something, feel free to let the head get super heavy so the crown of the head is tilting down towards the ground. And then you have a lot of options. You could grab your, interlock your fingertips and let them rest and be heavy. You could grab opposite elbows. You could put your hands on your knees and cradle your head again. Or you can do something I didn't mention. You don't have to be still. Keep breathing. Maybe you kind of rock side to side more. Maybe you straighten one leg at a time and then the other. If you're in your chair, maybe you're rocking your torso from one leg towards the other. Moving carefully. We're not just being sensation seeking. Keep breathing and noticing. Good. And then release your hands if you're holding on to something and carefully roll yourself all the way back up to a tall spine. Good. If you're in your chair, turn so your right thigh and buttock are on your seat, but the left buttock and leg are hanging off because we're going to do some of our warrior stuff. Good. So right leg's going to be your front bent knee on this pose. So turn your right toes towards the short edge of your mat. And then turn your left toes to the long edge of your mat. Good. Back leg gets long and as straight as you can. Push into the pinky toe edge of your back foot. Like if I slide a piece of paper under your foot, it's so tight down on the floor, I wouldn't be able to get anything under there. Bend your front right knee. Look down. Make sure you can see your big toe. If you can't, imagine pulling the knee out towards the pinky toe edge of the foot. Yeah. Good. Keep pushing into both sets of feet. Lift in and up on your pelvis and your belly. Get taller. And then as much as you like, you can release your hands from your body. Some people like to kind of keep them out to the sides to keep themselves more steady. Some people open the arms straight out from the center of the chest like we did earlier. Yeah, so you're not facing forward over your front knee. Your chest is open more to the side. And then you turn your head to look over your middle finger on your right hand. You can look at the nail and then look past the nail. Good. Stay here. Push down more into your feet. If you're in your chair, imagine you're pushing so hard into your feet that you're going to stand up out of your chair here. If you're standing already, imagine sinking down lower into the bent knee while you keep strong. Both big toes are pressing down, both heels are pressing down. Softer shoulders, softer eyes. Last big breath here as we stay. Good. Carefully come out of this pose. We're just going to come right back to mountain pose. So you can turn onto the back big toe and then take multiple or one big steps forward. But either way, bring both of the feet together underneath you. Maybe you heel toe them together. Stack your head on your shoulders and your shoulders on your hips and your hips on top of your feet and take a breath in neutral. Notice what's left over between the two sides. Good. Now let's do that on the other side. So take your wide stance again if you're standing. If you're on your chair, there you go, flip over so your left buttock and thigh are on the seat. This time your right leg is going to reach back behind you. Turn the heel down and the toes pointing to the long edge of the mat. So right leg is long, toes pointing to the long edge. Good. Left knee is bent, left toes pointing to the short edge. Exactly. Sink down more into your bent knee. Lift your torso up higher. Lift your back ribs up off your hips. Yeah, really tall. Good. Make sure you can see your front big toe. Squeeze the buttock and the hips so the left knee opens out towards the pinky toe edge of the foot. Squeeze the pinky toe edge down of your right foot so I can't slide a credit card underneath. Really tight. And then chest opens out to the side, arms open out of the center of the chest. Maybe look at both sets of fingertips, see if they're where you expected them to be. And then you can always adjust. Gaze over your middle left finger. Look at the nail first, and then maybe past the nail. Stay here and breathe, and notice what it feels like to just stay and maintain as much stillness as possible, even though your breath is probably moving you a lot. If you're in your chair, really imagine squeezing the legs together without actually moving them so that you could lift yourself up out of your chair. Good. Another big round of breath here. Space is as soft as you can manage. And then bring your hands back, turn onto your back toes, and a bunch of little steps or one big step. Come back to the front of your mat. Take a breath in neutral. Notice what is left over. Good. Now take another wide stance facing the long edge of your mat. Toes are pointing out at a little bit of an angle again, not straight ahead of yourself. Put your hands on your hips and start to sit down into an invisible chair. You know you've gone too far if you lean over super far. You want to be able to tuck your tail underneath, squeeze the knees out towards the pinky toe edges of the feet, and maintain a feeling of length from your tail to your head. If you're in your chair, imagine that you're going to lift up out of your chair. Push down everything into the floor. Squeeze the knees out. Belly in and up for support. Wide, broad chest, soft face, even though you're working hard. If you want, you can let go of your hands and you can mirror the bottom half of your body with the top. So you could bend your elbows, fingertips pointing to the sky. Good. Identify your right foot. On your inhale, lift your right heel up off the floor, and exhale, carefully lower it back down. Good. Inhale, left heel. Do what you have to do to stay steady. It doesn't matter if you wobble. Exhale, lower. Do one more on each side or try both at the same time. And then exhale, lower down. Good. Inhale, big X shape, straighten your legs or your arms. And then bring your hands back to your waist. Heel toe your feet back underneath you. If you got lightheaded, tuck your chin down, give it a little squeeze towards your throat. Stay and breathe. Notice what is left over in your practice so far. Maybe it's in your body, maybe it's in the way you're breathing or the way you've been thinking. Good. Let's do one more standing posture. So we've done a lot of external rotation. Now let's do a little bit of internal rotation of the hips. This is a standing posture. So you can use a chair, you might go next to a wall, but you're going to end up on one leg. So if that helps you make your decision, if you know you're wobbly or you're working on balance on one side, use a chair or a wall. If you're in your chair, good. Keep your, what is that, your right thigh? Sure. So right leg is going to be your standing leg. Right thigh on your chair, or right leg becomes the weight bearer here. And remember, when we start doing standing balancing postures, it's really helpful to keep your gaze forward instead of down at the ground. because you're going to fall in the direction that you're looking, right? So if you're looking up, you can just take a step forward, but if you're looking down, you might feel like tipping like a teapot too far over. Okay, suction cup your right foot to the ground, squeeze all the muscles in your right leg, squeeze the glute, belly in and up, shoulders are down, hands on your hips maybe on your chair, maybe you're touching a wall next to you. Okay, start to lift your left heel towards your butt and then lower the foot back down. So really squeeze the hamstrings and lift the heel up towards the butt and then back down. If you can lift the foot and hover, great. Lift the foot and hover, but if not, you're pulsing back and forth. Maybe you can lift the foot up a little higher and start to reach back for your foot or your ankle or your pants. Whatever touches is fine. You could do a thumb up with the palm facing out, or you could do palm facing in towards your body, but grab onto your pants or your ankle or your toes. And then imagine the knees are coming closer together. The heel is coming closer to your butt as you stay tall and lifted in the top of your body. So heel squeezes, knee squeezes in. Maybe the knees come in line. Imagine without actually doing it that your tail is tucking forward and the knee is pulling back. That'll create a little extra sensation in the front of the thigh. Now, to any extent, you can start to take your heel more out towards the left side of the buttock for a little bit of a different feeling. That's that internal rotation. Good. Now be careful, try not to let your foot slam down, but let go of your foot and bring it back down underneath you. If you feel like you need to shake out your standing leg or something, that's totally fine. But then do settle in neutral and take a breath so you can notice the two sides, anything that's different. And then we'll do that on the other side. So switch your position on your chair, or if you're at a wall, have your other hand near the wall. This time the left foot is going to be your base and the right foot is going to be the one lifting. So super tall spine, belly in and up for support. Squeeze all the muscles in your left leg, including the buttock. Face is soft. Even though you know where we're going, try not to anticipate it and give yourself a hard time already. Just let it happen, whatever's going to happen. Okay? And now practice lifting the right foot up and down. Give it a pulse a few times just so you can see what it feels like on this side. It's normal for us to have a more steady side, a more flexible side. If you want, you can lift the right foot and let it hover. Really squeeze the hamstrings here and bring the heel as close to your buttock as you can. It's okay if the knee wants to come out or go back to help you do that. Keep your gaze forward. You can bend the standing leg if you need to, but start to imagine reaching back towards your pant leg or your ankle or your toes. You can point the toes and reach for the toes, or I like to flex the ankle and grab the ankle. But it does make you feel like you're kind of crunching over to one side. So keep yourself as tall as you can. And then wherever you're grabbing, your pants or your foot or your ankle, squeeze the knees towards each other, towards the middle. Imagine tucking the tail a little as the knee comes back in line with the other one, and keep squeezing the heel towards your butt. You can bend your elbow and pull if you want. So imagine that from the shoulder to the knee, it's one big long line. The more you bring your knee in line with your hip, the more you're going to feel in the front of the hip. Good. Last move if you want, a little adjustment, is to take the heel of the foot more out towards the outside edge of the buttock, so the knee is tilting in towards the center line a little bit more. And then be careful, try not to let it slam down, but slowly let go of your foot, let it come back underneath you, and come back to stillness in the center. Take a breath, observe the two sides. If you need to kind of shake it out or roll your ankles or whatever, you can do that now. Good. And then come back down to your chair or the floor for the cool down part of class. We're not going to get back up if that helps you decide what you're going to do. So seated on your chair, if you're in a chair, come to the edge of the seat again so you have room behind you. If you're on the floor, even if you're on a block, sit right on the sits bones and with the feet flat on the floor, the knees are both bent. Good. And then some people grab the front of their knees. I like to grab the backs of my thighs, but choose the one that makes you feel the tallest from your tail all the way through the crown of your head. So squeeze your shoulders back behind you. Engage in your bandhas again, right? Like you have to go to the bathroom, pull the pelvis in and up, belly in and up, shoulders behind you, but your face is soft. Good. Maintain that length from tail to crown and start to lean back a little bit. So your gaze is not going to stay forward. That'll make you round forward towards the horizon. Let your gaze go up above the horizon. Tuck your chin down and back into that invisible wall to help you stay taller until you feel like your toes are going to come up off the ground. And then stay there and hover for a moment. Notice what has to engage to hold you here. Identify your right leg. On your inhale, lift your right leg a little or a lot. Stay as tall as you can the whole time. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left foot lifts a little or a lot. Exhale, lower. One more on each side. You can even straighten the leg if you want. Stay tall, shoulders behind you. And then try both feet at the same time. You can bend the knees, you can lengthen them, you can squeeze the legs towards each other, keep them separate. Try to stay for one more breath. Maybe you let go of your legs. And then carefully put your feet back down on the floor. Roll yourself over your knees, give yourself a hug, let the belly get really soft and smushy. Take a big breath into the back of your body. Good. Inhale yourself back up to a tall sit. And then you might place your hands behind you, or you might give yourself no support with the hands, but carefully and slowly roll down onto your back. If you're in your chair, scoot all the way back into your chair. I want everyone to feel fully supported from the tail to the head. Readjust so that you feel like you're kind of in neutral. The shoulders are in line with the hips. Your head is in line with your spine. Maybe you rock your shoulders down away from your ears again. Feet are both planted on the ground. Knees are bent. And then just carefully rock your knees from side to side like windshield wipers. That motion could be really small or it could be pretty big. Soften your face. Keep breathing in and out. Soften your belly more. Good. Next time your knees go to the right, let them stay and soften into that position as much as you can. You can keep your feet down where they are with the knees pulling forward over towards the right, or some bodies like to take the knees in more towards the chest and then let the legs rock over to the side. It'll make it a little bigger of a twist in the middle of the body. Option to reach the left arm away. Option to look over your left fingertips away from your knees. Even though you're twisting and constricting the middle of your body, take a big breath here. Soften into the pose as much as you can. Work less. Bring your head back to the center first. Belly in and up to support. As you inhale, bring your legs all the way back to the center. Bring your arm back to the center. And then exhale to the other side. Try what you did on the other side. Maybe the feet are down on the floor, the knees tilt over, or maybe you bring your knees way in towards your chest and then lean both legs over to the left. Either way, the legs are on the left side. Maybe the right arm reaches away and you look over your right arm. Whatever you chose, breathe deeply and soften as much as you can. Especially soften through the eyebrows and the jaw and the neck and the belly. Last big breath here. Good. Inhale your head back to the center first. Belly in and up for support. Bring your legs all the way back to the center. And if you're on the floor, take both knees in towards your chest and give them a squeeze. If you're on your chair, put your feet on the ground and fold over your legs. But either way, give your legs a hug. You can hold onto your pants, you can interlace your fingers, some bodies interlace or grab opposite elbows. Be still or rock side to side, forward and back, whatever's accessible and comfortable to you here. And now is a good time too to practice any posture that we haven't done today that you're really wanting to do. There's some kind of instinct you might have about a movement or a posture, or if it's stillness. Now at the end of class, that's always a really good time to listen to those instincts. Soften your face even more. Let the breath slow and deepen like the beginning of class. Good. And start to come back to symmetry in the middle. And think about what your final posture might be today. If you're having low back pain, I would recommend lying on the ground with your feet flat on the floor. Take your feet wider than your knees, and then let the knees buckle in towards the middle, towards each other. That's called constructive rest pose. Very good to relax the psoas. If you like something different, you might bring the soles of the feet together with the knees open out to the sides, like in a diamond shape. Some people that do that also like to mirror the top half with the bottom half and lift their arms up over their head, rest their hands together on the floor above their head. And some people just like to lay like they're taking a nap. Legs are long, arms are long. Don't hold your feet in any certain way. But of course, you can do anything that I haven't mentioned. And as usual, I'll offer a guided body scan meditation to end class, but this is optional just like everything else. If you have a prayer or an affirmation that you'd rather use, now is a perfect time to incorporate that into your practice. If you just want to take a nap and space out, do that. You can focus on your breathing, anything that you think is a good idea. If you're following along with me, bring all of your awareness and attention now just to the tips of your toes. You don't have to find anything in particular. Just notice your toes, what's there or not there. Then notice the bottoms of your feet. Notice the tops of your feet. Notice your ankles. Notice your lower legs. Notice your knees. Notice your upper legs. Notice your hips. Notice your buttocks. Notice your pelvis. Notice your low belly. Notice your lower back. Notice your upper back. Notice your chest. Notice your shoulders. Notice your upper arms. Notice your elbows. Notice your lower arms. Notice your wrists. Notice the backs of your hands. Notice the palms of your hands. Notice all of your fingertips. Notice the spaces between your fingertips. Notice the front of your throat. Notice the back of your neck. Notice the back of your head. Notice the top of your head. Notice your forehead. Notice your temples. Notice your ears. Notice your cheeks. Notice your jaw. Notice your chin. Notice your lips. Notice your teeth. Notice your tongue. Notice your nose. Notice your right eyelid. Notice your left eyelid. Notice your right eyebrow. Notice your left eyebrow. Notice the space between your eyebrows. Now that you've scanned your whole body one piece at a time, take a step back in your mind and notice your whole body together as one big piece. Good. Now let go of that. Notice the weight of your body on your chair or the floor. Without changing anything, notice your breath. Carefully start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Let your body wake back up carefully and slowly. Maybe that turns into something bigger. You can roll your wrists and your ankles, Bend your knees, lengthen your legs and your arms. Any kind of movement or stretching here. Maybe you choose more stillness, that's good too. And if you're on your back on the ground, maybe roll over onto one side, your right side. Use your arm like a pillow so you can adjust really slowly. And use as little effort as possible. Push yourself up so you can find a seat again, whether that's on the ground, on a block, on your chair again, whatever you wish. Just look for length from your tail to your crown. Maybe roll your shoulders down again away from your ears. Gaze is forward and slightly down. Soft eyelids, soft jaw, soft belly, tall spine. Good. And I'll invite you to bring your hands together, either in a prayer position with your thumbs touching the center of your chest. You can stack your hands, whatever you like. Look down or bow down towards your heart in your hands. This motion is in gratitude of yourself. So as best you can, give yourself a sincere thank you just for showing up. We all know that's the hard part, and everything else is just practice. And remember, you have a body, but you're not just your body. You have a mind, but you're not just your thoughts. And you have emotions, but you're not just your feelings. As you're ready, your hands can come down. Let your eyes flutter open and up. Class is over.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming. Of course, yeah, let me press stop on the recording, and then if anyone has questions for me, of course, I'll be here, or you can email me later. You guys know the drill here.